In a quiet valley, a young man's humiliation sparks a revolutionary invention. Ethan, driven by anger and determination, crafts a simple wooden raft to cross the river. Little does he know, this invention will later transform the world. Join us as we explore the story of how the concept of the raft evolved and revolutionized modern boats and ships. To watch the full video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow our channel. In a quiet valley surrounded by distant hills, a wide, fast-flowing river cut the land into two unequal worlds. On the eastern bank, the ground was dry and dusty. Small mud huts stood in clusters, and villagers lived closely with their animals, goats, cows, and sheep. The air often carried the smell of milk and hay, but there were no trees, no shade, no greenery. Children grew up seeing open brown land stretching to the horizon. Across the river, the western bank looked like a different world. Tall trees swayed in the breeze, branches heavy with bright fruits. Thick green grass covered the earth, and birds sang from the treetops. But there were no animals there, no milk, no livestock, only fruit and vegetation in abundance. The river between them roared day and night. Its current was powerful, restless, and unforgiving. It was not just water. It was a barrier that kept two communities apart. Every evening, elders from the eastern side would sit near the riverbank, staring across at the green land. Imagine, one old man would sigh, if we could bring some of that grass here for our animals. The Detsalant, another would add, watching figures across the river pluck mangoes and figs from trees. From trees, how sweet they must taste. On the western bank, villagers would sit under the trees and look across with equal longing. Look at their cows, a woman would say softly. They must have fresh milk every day, and wool from sheep leather. So many things we don't have, someone else would whisper. Both sides could see what they lacked. Both sides could see what the other had. And the river laughed between them. Some young men from both villages knew how to swim. Occasionally, they would tie dry logs to their bodies or hold onto floating branches and attempt to cross. Sometimes they succeeded. Sometimes they were dragged far downstream before struggling back to shore. Those who made it across would eat fruits greedily or drink milk gratefully before risking the dangerous swim back. But many villagers could not swim. Among them was Ethan. Ethan often sat quietly on a flat stone near the river, watching the swimmers. He watched them dive into the roaring water, watched the current push them sideways, watched them struggle to reach the other bank. One afternoon, as laughter erupted behind him, a group of young men teased him. Ethan, why don't you try swimming today? Yes. Or are you afraid of water? Their laughter stung him. His cheeks burned, but he said nothing. That evening, as elders again spoke about the dream of crossing the river someday, something stirred inside Ethan. A thought, a desire, a question. Why can't I cross it too? The next morning, before anyone was awake, Ethan stepped into the river. The water was colder and stronger than he expected. He tried to paddle forward, but within seconds the current spun him sideways. He swallowed water. Panic rushed through him. He kicked wildly, but his body sank. Strong hands pulled him back to shore. When he coughed out water, gasping for breath, the same young men stood over him, laughing loudly. We told you, you can't swim, or you'll drown before reaching halfway. Humiliated, Ethan walked away, dripping and silent. He sat alone for hours, angry at himself, angry at the river, angry at their laughter. And then he noticed something. A piece of wood floated past him in the river. It did not struggle. It did not sink. It simply floated. Ethan stared at it as it drifted away. A strange idea formed in his mind. What if I don't have to swim? That night, while the village slept, Ethan gathered a few wooden planks and tied them together with rope made from dry grass. His hands shook with excitement. He dragged the bundle to the river and pushed it into the water. He climbed onto it. Within seconds, water seeped between the gaps. The planks separated. Ethan fell straight into the river again. Cold, chaos, failure. The next day, villagers saw the wet planks near the shore and laughed. Trying to build a house in the river, Ethan, but he did not stop. He worked again. This time, he tied the planks tighter, added more, tried to seal the gaps with mud. At night, under moonlight, he tested again. Again, it sank. Days passed. Each night, he experimented. he experimented. Each morning, villagers found broken wood and shook their heads. But something was changing. The structure lasted longer each time before failing. People began watching from a distance. Children whispered, "What is Ethan doing?" Elders stopped laughing and started observing. One night, after many failures, Ethan added crosspieces to hold the planks firm. He used resin from tree bark to seal spaces. His fingers were blistered. His eyes were red from sleepless nights. He pushed the new structure into the river. It floated. His heart pounded. Slowly, he climbed onto it. The raft wobbled, but did not sink. From the shore, a few villagers who had secretly followed him gasped. Ethan picked up a long stick and pushed against the riverbed. The raft moved, slowly, steadily. The current tried to turn it, but Ethan adjusted with the stick. For the first time in history, someone was moving across the river without swimming. By morning, the whole village had gathered. Some still laughed nervously. It will sink, but Ethan pushed off again. This time, in daylight, the river roared, but the raft held. Halfway across, silence fell on both banks. Ethan reached the other side. People from the green land stared at him in shock. He stepped onto their grass with trembling legs. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then someone offered him fruit. Tears filled his eyes. Later, he loaded the raft with fruits and returned. When he reached his side, the villagers did not laugh. They cheered. Soon, people from both sides began using the raft. Fruits came to the dry land. Milk animals crossed to the green land. Grass was brought for animals. Friendships formed. Trade began. Laughter replaced longing. The river was no longer a barrier. It had become a path. And Ethan, the boy who could not swim, had united two worlds without ever learning how.